Welcome to the Global Skill Development Council, your gateway to unlocking endless opportunities for professional growth and success. GSDC is an independent, vendor-neutral, international credentialing and certification organization for professionals. For over 5 years, we have certified the skills of over 100,000 professionals across EMEA, LATAM, APAC, and North America regions. We offer certification in learning and development, human resources, quality assurance, ISO and Six Sigma, emerging technologies, DevOps, SRE, Agile and Scrum, project management. GSDC is proudly accredited with ANSI and ABICB. We have global presence with offices in Switzerland, the United States, and Singapore, and a strong network of over 50 global accredited training organizations.
But how do these certifications contribute to your career growth? GSDC certifications are globally recognized and trusted by many multinational organizations. Our certifications validate your skills and demonstrate your commitment to professional development. GSDC is collaborating with 500+ SMEs, advisors, and global experts to curate and share best practices with individuals. We validate those skills via experts-curated certification exams. Additionally to that, we also regularly conduct webinars, knowledge-sharing sessions, and various complementary learning initiatives to keep learners updated on the best practices and fortify their knowledge. By validating skills, GSDC is addressing the challenges faced by professionals in today's competitive landscape. We bridge the gap between theoretical knowledge and practical expertise, ensuring that individuals are equipped to succeed in their chosen fields. Visit our website to know more about GSDC.
Welcome to the Global Skill Development Council, your gateway to unlocking endless opportunities for professional growth and success. GSDC is an independent, vendor-neutral, international credentialing and certification organization for professionals. For over 5 years, we have certified the skills of over 100,000 professionals across EMEA, LATAM, APAC, and North America regions. We offer certification in learning and development, human resources, quality assurance, ISO and Six Sigma, emerging technologies, DevOps, SRE, Agile and Scrum, project management. GSDC is proudly accredited with ANSI and ABICB. We have global presence with offices in Switzerland, the United States, and Singapore, and a strong network of over 50 global accredited training organizations.
But how do these certifications contribute to your career growth? GSDC certifications are globally recognized and trusted by many multinational organizations. Our certifications validate your skills and demonstrate your commitment to professional development. GSDC is collaborating with 500+ SMEs, advisors, and global experts to curate and share best practices with individuals. We validate those skills via experts-curated certification exams. Additionally to that, we also regularly conduct webinars, knowledge-sharing sessions, and various complementary learning initiatives to keep learners updated on the best practices and fortify their knowledge. By validating skills, GSDC is addressing the challenges faced by professionals in today's competitive landscape. We bridge the gap between theoretical knowledge and practical expertise, ensuring that individuals are equipped to succeed in their chosen fields. Visit our website to know more about GSDC.
Welcome to the Global Skill Development Council, your gateway to unlocking endless opportunities for professional growth and success. GSDC is an independent, vendor-neutral, international credentialing and certification organization for professionals. For over 5 years,
Yes. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the GSDC Global L&D Webinar 2024. My name is Anjali, and I'm your host for today. Joining me is my colleague, Ms. Setulu, as a co-host. So if you need any assistance during this session, so please do reach out to her. We are very more excited to host our global GSDC L&D webinar session featuring our incredible speaker, Ms. Kate Sullivan, Global Head of Services and Talent, Corporate Solutions, will be presenting on the topic Navigating AI in Learning and Assessment. So let me introduce you to our hosting organization, GSDC. We are a vendor-neutral, vendor-agnostic, and globally recognized certification body. GSDC is being recognized in Forbes and Tech Target as one of the top IT certifications. Also, we are proud to say that we are accredited by globally renowned bodies, that is NC and ABICB. We have 100 plus certification portfolio. We have certified 90,000 plus professionals worldwide. GSDC has 500 plus advisory board of members who are also our subject matter experts. Like they work closely with our team to help and design our deliverables. We are also associated with 30 plus universities worldwide. If you want to learn more about our council, the GSDC website link is shared in the chat box. We have over 100 plus training partners associated with us globally. We have these partners in Asia, Africa, Europe, Canada, and many more countries. So thank you everyone to those who are joining this session through our partner channel. And if you want to connect through our partner channel, please find the partners link shared in the chat box. And also a big shout out to our patrons for sharing these knowledgeable events with their network. And thank you always for your support. Thank you very much, WordPress Hub, our official media partner, for covering all our events and press release. As mentioned, we have 100 plus certification portfolio such as generative AI, blockchain, ISO, DevOps, and many more certifications. For this event, we are focusing on Certified Learning and Development Professional CLDP certifications in this session. So GSDC's Certified Learning and Development Professional Certificate is lifetime validated certification, which comes with learning resources, which is a lifelong learning and are all self-paced mode. So if you require any training with our training partners, we have 100 plus training partner channel network. So please let us know. The link is shared in the chat box. We have recently introduced our capstone project as well as a deliverable. Any candidate, those who are certified with GSDC will get a lifelong membership, also a complimentary upgrade to any certifications and free access to all our events. Yes, so here's an exciting announcement for everyone. We are introducing our first ever global GSDC hackathon for L&D community, where we'll be connecting with a very special guest, and also our industry experts will be we will be having a live gamification session as well. I'll share the more details and information about this at the end of the session. So stay connected with us till end, and you won't want to miss this thing. And also, again, like all our events, we will be having the gamification after the speaker session. The top winner will win a GSDC exam voucher worth $400, and the top 3 winners will be posted on GSDC Wall of Fame. So stay connected. Let me introduce you to our keynote speaker, Ms. Kate Sullivan, Global Head of Services and Talent Corporate Solutions. A big welcome, Kate, from GSDC behalf. Kate is a global head of services and talent in corporate English solutions industries with over 20 years of experience leading high-performing cross-cultural teams. As an author and speaker, she shares her expertise and dedicates to supporting the L&D and HR communities, soft skills and diversity and inclusion and resilience to drive the engagement and the performance in the workplace. So if you want to learn more about our speaker, then the LinkedIn profile is shared in the chat box. So before we go further, post this session, we'll be having 15 minutes of Q&A session with Miss Kate and her colleague Miss Shalini. So meanwhile, during this session, feel free to put your question in the chat box, and we'll be taking all your questions after the speaker session. Yes, Kate, you can take over the virtual mic ahead.
Thank you, Anjali, for that introduction. We're really happy to be here today and to speak on this really important topic of AI and technology in learning and assessment. So I'm going to hand over to my colleague Shalini, who will get started on the topic.
Hello, everyone. My name is Shalini. I work with Kate at the British Council. I'm a project lead for talent and thought leadership for corporate English solutions. So in our fireside chat today, Kate and I will be discussing the rise of AI in learning and assessment and the key challenges this brings and the solutions to overcome them. We know that artificial intelligence is continuing to evolve at a breakneck speed, and its impact on the workplace is profound and far-reaching. From automating routine tasks to providing advanced data insights, AI is reshaping how we work and how we interact. So we've organized this discussion into 4 key parts: the trends in AI in learning and assessment, key challenges faced by L&D professionals, keeping up with the pace of this change, identifying key skills to develop for different roles, closing emerging skills gaps, and finally, the ethical use of AI and tech tools in learning and assessment. So let's begin by taking a look at the trends. Okay. AI is growing in importance in organizational learning and development. More organizations are adopting AI-powered learning and assessment solutions. We at the British Council are currently doing a study into trends in AI and tech in learning and assessment, and the results of our survey are very interesting. So Kate, from our survey, what percentage of organizations are using AI in learning and assessment?
Thanks, Shalini. I think that people would guess that it's going to be higher than what I'm going to say, because I think as individuals, a lot of us are using AI, particularly generative AI, in our everyday work to automate tasks, to save us time. But what we've been asking HR and L&D professionals is, how much are they using AI and technology for learning and assessment in their organizations? And it's quite interesting. 48% of the respondents so far have said that AI and tech have had a significant impact on learning and development in their organizations. And there's another 46% that are saying, actually, it's more of a moderate impact at the moment. So it shows there really is a recognition of the interest in and the potential of AI in L&D, but it's still in the early stages, and many organizations are thinking about AI rather than already integrating it into the learning processes. We did a poll recently on LinkedIn, and only 2% of the respondents said that they've fully implemented AI and tech in their learning and assessment. So it shows that many organizations are still navigating how complex it is to adopt it, and they're still overcoming some challenges. It's very difficult to integrate AI with existing systems, make sure that we've got data privacy for our learners, and also address the skills gaps, perhaps even within our own teams, to manage and to use these technologies effectively. This means that a somewhat slower pace of implementation for L&D versus some other departments in organizations. I was reading a study earlier today by McKinsey, and it was saying that marketing apparently is the #1 department in organizations to implement AI in a more formal way, followed by product development and IT, and HR and L&D is still somewhat behind those.
That's very interesting, especially when you have different departments using AI in different ways within the same organization. So I'm sure people, our viewers here at this event, will gain insights that they can go back and use in their planning for AI and tech. So how are L&D teams using AI and technology?
Well, this is a really interesting question that came up in our survey. So only a small percentage of organizations are using AI for things like needs analysis, for gamifying content, for AI-driven mentoring and coaching. That's less than 40% of respondents of our survey that said they're using it for these perhaps more unusual or more advanced uses. It could be because it's quite complicated to integrate these applications, and maybe they think they need a tailored solution that really fits with their specific organization's needs and resources. Some organizations are not ready for adoption yet, and some just don't have the budget. So many organizations are using AI right now to automate tasks. And in L&D, it's being used in all three phases of programs: the design, the delivery, and the evaluation phases. Interestingly, design is really where it's being used the most. So 91% of people in our survey have been saying that they're using generative AI to design learning and development programs, to create content, to create materials, perhaps curate content, refine existing content, design assessments, because it really saves them some time. They're also using it to create personalized learning paths.
Thank you. So what have we seen are the benefits of doing this?
Yeah, I mentioned it saves time. So our L&D and HR community are saying it makes them more productive. It accelerates content development so they can do it more quickly. So it helps them to respond to the emerging needs that are coming in their organization. It also helps them with personalization, because they can cater to the varying skills levels and the learning styles of the learners in their organization. For assessments, using AI and technology can help them ensure that they align with the learning goals and that they're valid and reliable measures of people's skills.
So what about program delivery?
Yeah, delivery, it's a little bit less than program development. Our survey results showed that 84% are using AI and tech tools to personalize learning, 82% for assessment, which is still really high, given that, the adoption is slower than in some other departments. So some organizations are beginning to invest in adaptive learning platforms, and these adjust the learning experience in real time based on the learner interactions and their performance. It's a bit like a kind of Netflix where it will push something to you depending on what you've already done, but also it adapts to your level as well. It really makes sure that the content delivery is personalized, it's engaging, and as well as it's impactful. So other organizations are incorporating some interactive tools. We mentioned earlier, Angela, at the start about gamification. So simulations are a common use of AI tools to be integrated into courses to make a more immersive learning experience. And these tools can also give instant feedback to the learners, and it helps them to focus on closing their main skills gaps. Some organizations use AI and tech for assessment, and they report improvements in identifying learning progress. It helps them bring about more targeted interventions and provide more accurate, data-driven insights into the development of their learners. Another thing I was reading yesterday was that some organizations are even using chatbots as virtual assistants to provide real-time support, to answer questions, and to guide learners through the program. Although the numbers of organizations doing that right now are quite small, but that's something that I believe is going to be really important going forward.
That is very interesting, because we're using AI to make the delivery more personalized, more engaging, as well as impactful. So you mentioned earlier that AI can be used in program evaluation as well. How does that work?
In fact, this one is quite common use of AI and tech. 84% in our survey were saying that they use data analytics to support reporting return on investment. They need data. The business is looking for, okay, I've invested X amount in this learning. What are we getting in return? And they really need data. And as we know, AI and tech is capable of handling large amounts of data. It can handle performance metrics, learner feedback. It can tell us about engagement and retention rates, and it can even tell us a bit about long-term learning outcomes. And this is really valuable for L&D teams as they can gain insights to improve the programs. They can enhance learner experiences. Also, they can make these outcomes more meaningful. I was reading something the other day as well saying that if we can really prove long-term learning outcomes, that has a positive impact on employee retention. They feel that there's a career path within the organization's investing in them. So some of these tools that can support us to do that can be really valuable.
So we're really using the strengths, the traditional strengths of AI, which is the processing of all of this data and then using that to personalize. This widespread adoption in this area really highlights AI's significant role in shaping learning and development end to end, indicating that it has potential to influence and streamline the entire learning life cycle. So while the potential of AI-powered solutions is exciting, many L&D professionals are still nervous about it. I'm wondering why that is. I, as an L&D professional, I have some idea, but the pace of advancement and change can be overwhelming. It's faster than ever before. And so much information about AI is being published. It can be really hard to keep pace with this, to sift through it and find key advice which is practical, which is easy to implement within our own contexts. And I'm sure people are unsure of which skills their organization needs to develop, how to do so effectively, how to cultivate these skills within their workforce. And people are still learning, L&D professionals are still learning about AI themselves. So what, according to you, Kate, are the top 3 challenges that you've seen from our survey especially?
I think the number one there you've highlighted already, it really is keeping up with the pace of change. It's nonstop, and just when we think we've understood it, then a new thing comes out and we've got to learn about and to understand that. In our survey, 100% of the respondents said that that is a challenge for them, and 93 said it's a huge challenge. So it really reflects how rapidly the tech is moving, but also it's the learner expectations that are evolving as well. So they expect this level of personalization, they expect engaging learning, they expect gamification, and that can be quite overwhelming for L&D teams that are trying to stay current as well as continue to implement the programs that they've already been running. The second challenge that organizations are highlighting is that they need new skills. So existing skills frameworks are not enough anymore. They need to be adapted. They need to close some of these skills gaps that are widening with the implementation of AI and tech. This really shows us that upskilling and reskilling for an AI-enabled workforce is really urgent, and that organizations need to keep pace with these technological advancements and the evolving job requirements if they want to stay current and to be sustainable in what is quite a challenging marketplace right now. So the second one is really about closing these emerging skills gaps. And then lastly, with 82% in our survey have mentioned the ethical considerations of AI. That's spoken about so much at the moment. Interestingly, my daughter came home from school today and said they had a debate about whether the school should allow them to use AI or not. And her opinion was no, interestingly.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, interesting, because it's not ethical, it's not fair, it's cheating. And there is still quite a view from some people that these AI and tech tools are concerning. People are worried about data privacy. They're worried about bias. They're worried about, is it ethical to be using technology? So upholding standards and making sure that the practices are trustworthy is a real concern for L&D at the moment. So those are three challenges, quite a lot, isn't it? It's keeping up with the pace of change. It's about the emerging skills gaps and closing them, and then navigating the ethical considerations. Three big challenges.
They are indeed very big challenges. So maybe we can talk about how to overcome these, what are some solutions to these challenges. The first one you mentioned was the pace of change. So could you share some advice with our audience about how to keep up with this pace of change that we're facing with AI?
Yeah, I think, it's very tempting to get excited and to try to do everything all at once and to learn about everything and to go really deep in our knowledge. But if we do that, we're going to really spread ourselves thin. And actually that knowledge could become obsolete within a few months or so. So the first thing we need to do is to be really clear about what we want to learn about tech and AI for learning and development. Identify the specific skills or the knowledge areas that you want to improve or you need to improve in your role, and just focus in on those. If you're really clear about the goals, then that will help you use your time efficiently. It will make your learning efforts much more targeted as well. And as L&D professionals, we should be good at this, because we are setting learning goals within our organizations. Sometimes we forget to set them for ourselves. So I think that's the number one thing. And then number two, once you've really got your goals, then prioritize. Just focus on those most relevant tech developments and the AI advancements that really directly relate to your role and to your industry. Don't try to learn everything all at once. Get your information. You can subscribe to industry newsletters, you can follow blogs, or you can follow social media accounts, really to stay informed and up to date and be more efficient, because we'll be carrying on with our jobs at the same time as well. Apart from that, experimentation is really important, and hands-on experience, so important. I've learned so much personally from using generative AI, which I admit to using every single day. It really helps me. And in the beginning, I wasn't that good at it. And I hadn't taken any course or done any learning on how to get the most out of it. It was a real trial and error, testing it out, seeing how it worked. And when it didn't work, then figuring out how to make it work. And actually for me, that made it really memorable. And I kind of developed the skills on the go. So I learned to adapt, and now I'd say I'm pretty good at using it, and I've remembered a lot that I learned. So I think experimenting and experience is really important with these tech tools. If you are looking to do some more formal learning, I think the short bite-sized, like micro or even nano learning is really valuable, because then you don't get overwhelmed with too much content, or you can home in on just what is useful for you. So you could use online platforms. There's plenty of bite-sized courses, free courses out there. There's webinars like this one, for example, that you can attend, and then you can get quick, targeted learning opportunities, and it doesn't need a huge time commitment from us. And then lastly, I think it's really important to stay connected. One of the valuable things about this webinar today is that we build our professional network. You can engage with these industry groups and forums where everybody's talking about the topic, and everybody will be having similar challenges to you as well. So get involved in those discussions, ask for advice from peers and from colleagues, and also you can support other people too. These sort of networks are really important to get regular updates, you can get insights, and then you can stay informed, but not take a whole lot of time over it. So I think that was quite a lot there that I shared, but just in summary, the 5 things is like, number 1, you've got to set clear learning goals. Number 2, prioritize what you want to learn. 3 is experiment. 4, is micro-learning, and 5, don't forget your professional networks. And with all of these different forms, we can really learn in the flow of work. We don't have to interrupt our working day for a long course, and yet we can really keep up with the pace of change.
Thank you, Kate. That's really great advice. So in this rapidly changing landscape, organizations face the challenge of not only integrating AI, but also equipping their teams with the skills that are essential to thrive alongside AI. So the defining of these skills, which skills are essential and desirable for different roles, can be tricky though. What advice do you have here, and what skills are organizations saying they need that are essential here?
It can be tricky, especially as the skills that are needed are changing quite frequently. And for many of us, we will be upskilling people who are in more kind of generalist roles. And we might have some people within our organizations who are in more specialist roles like IT or tech, and they perhaps require a very specialist and advanced skill set in terms of tech and AI. But for a lot of us, we're working with people in more generalist roles. And we asked people actually in our survey, and 5 main AI and tech skills were identified. So the first one of those was digital literacy, which is about knowing how to use those tools. The second one is data analytics and interpretation, which we've spoken about a little bit in terms of evaluating courses. We have to be able to analyze that data, to interpret it, and to tell those stories based on the data that the AI has gathered. The third area is human AI collaboration. And I was speaking briefly then about my own collaboration with generative AI. That's a really increasingly important skill. And then we spoke a bit about ethics as well. People need to know how to use this AI ethically. And then lastly, perhaps not an in-depth knowledge, but some awareness of cybersecurity as well, to protect the data of our learners and protect ourselves as well when we're interacting with the AI.
Especially helps with the ethical use of AI there. So which were the top 3 skills out of these 5? Which were the top 3?
Be interesting actually to see whether the audience could guess, but in the interest of time, I am going to share it. So the number 1 skill, 91% mentioned this, and it's human AI collaboration. I think that, as we said before, many teams are using generative AI. Perhaps they've not implemented AI formally in learning yet, but they're definitely using generative AI. And collaborating with that is really essential. Our AI can handle all this data processing, pattern recognition, but humans need to have critical thinking skills, to have creativity, so that we can judge what the AI outputs and see whether it makes sense, see whether it works for our context or not. And if we can develop our skills in that area, then the strength of both the AI and the humans is leveraged. And I think that will lead to better outcomes for us. So if we can implement some learning in our employees, it can help them really understand how to interact with the AI tools, make better decisions, and ensure that AI in your organizations aligns with the goals and values. So that's the highest one, is human AI collaboration. The second highest is data analytics and interpretation. This was mentioned by 88% of people. And these skills are really important so that you can make sense. Vast amounts of data can be generated by AI systems, and we have to be able to interpret it and use it to tell stories. Really important in roles that involve strategy or research or operations. They really have to understand the trends and patterns to be able to bring about effective outcomes. And in an AI-driven environment, if you're proficient in data analytics, you'll be able to leverage data to enhance performance and to achieve the business goals. So important all around. The last area that was mentioned, this is mentioned by 87%, and it's coming back to the ethical use of AI again. Really important as these tools become more embedded in our daily operations and decision making. We need to develop skills in our organization to make sure it's used responsibly, to help us avoid the biases, protect privacy, and uphold fairness. And that can really help us maintain trust with both our internal and external stakeholders, and also ensure that AI contributes positively to society without causing harm or perpetuating inequality. So there's quite a bit of detail there, but to summarize, the 3 key skills which are AI related are human AI collaboration, data analytics and interpretation, and lastly, the ethical use of AI in our organizations.
Thank you for explaining that, Kate. That's really useful information, because I think it helps us worry less about what AI is and how we can leverage what AI can help us with, instead of worrying about the problems that can also surface alongside and the challenges. So it is very important to develop our skills to stay ahead. But it's not just AI skills that our teams need. We published an ebook about soft skills your organization needs recently. As we say in that, technical skills alone are no longer enough. In fact, 35% of organizations are now prioritizing soft skills development, and 83% are balancing technical and soft skills training. So why are soft skills becoming increasingly important?
Yeah, that's right. The organizations we talk to are saying that actually the balance of the training and the learning programs is really shifting now more towards soft skills. And interestingly, we often hear people saying things like, oh, the AI is going to do all of our repetitive, boring tasks. We need to be the people that build relationships. And we see these things as actually that it's not mutually exclusive. Humans need AI skills to interact more effectively with humans, and they need soft skills to interact more effectively with AI. So it's not two separate things. Soft skills are really essential to navigate these changes that we've been speaking about today, as digital transformation is impacting our organizations and really quickly as well. So if we can develop soft skills in our organization, it can ensure the potential of AI tools is maximized and make sure they're used efficiently and ethically in the workplace.
That's true. So which soft skills are essential in this AI-driven world, and why?
There's so many. And, you know, in our book, we actually talk about the top 10 soft skills that your organization needs. But I think in the interest of time today, I'm just going to highlight the very top ones. So the number 1 is critical thinking and problem solving, which, you know, I spoke about earlier a little bit about being essential for analyzing complex information, for making decisions in the AI-driven environment, enabling the individuals to assess the capabilities and limitations of AI tools, and to make sure that they're used effectively. So 96% say that critical thinking and problem solving, it's the most important soft skill at the moment for organizations. The next 2, both had, actually 3 with 93%, one is adaptability and learning agility. The next one is communication. And lastly, emotional intelligence, or EQ, as a lot of people know it. All of those were voted by 93%.
Could you tell us a little bit more about these skills and especially why they're so important in the age of AI?
Sure. I think EQ is an interesting one because people don't often associate that with technology or with AI. They always associate that with interacting with other humans. But actually, having strong emotional intelligence really helps us to navigate these digital transformations and to maintain a positive attitude. It can be quite frustrating with all the changes and the pace of these changes. But if we have strong emotional intelligence, it can help us to navigate our own emotions during the times of change, and also to support others as they go through these changes as well, building the relationships and maintaining them, which can help build resilience, which is really crucial during periods of change like this. EQ can support us to communicate effectively and to collaborate better as well, which is really crucial for managing the human side of technological advancement. So EQ is a really key skill that's needed at the moment. Moving on to communication. Communication can be human to human or human to AI. And clear, effective, concise communication is really vital for communicating both with the AI and also with humans as well. It can help us to be clear about what we're asking. It can help us to convey complex information in an understandable manner, and it can help us collaborate better, either with the AI or with humans as well. So communication is a really key skill. And then tying all of that together is this idea of adaptability and continuous learning. As the pace of the technological change accelerates, our teams are going to need to be adaptable. They're going to need a continuous learning mindset in order to really embrace these new technologies, to continually develop their skills and stay current. They need to be adaptable. They'll be able to pivot and they will be able to respond to all of these evolving tools and methods. So the top soft skills, really, we've got critical thinking with problem solving, EQ, communication, and all tied together there with this adaptability and learning agility.
Again, that is very interesting. When you spoke about communication, it reminded me of the recent blog that we published on our website about how communication is changing because of AI. So it's not just the way we communicate with AI that we're having to learn, but that's impacting the communication that we have with our colleagues, with others in our life. And the very language we use has changed. So that is very interesting. So these are all different soft skills there, and there are a lot of them. How do L&D teams know which skills are important for different roles?
Well, for soft skills, they're important for all roles and at all levels as well. You know, at British Council, we do have a range of soft skills training courses, which many people don't know about because they know a lot about the work that the British Council does in English, but not so familiar with some soft skills training courses, things like EQ, cultural intelligence, and executive presence and communication. That's important for all roles. And it's really popular from like new entrants, so career starters really need to develop these as they settle into the early stages of their career. Individual contributors, as they go through the organization, they need to hone some of these soft skills and take them to the next level. And of course, for managers and for senior leaders, they are absolutely essential. And soft skills go across industries, across job scopes, as well as different levels within the hierarchy. So we can clearly say that soft skills are important for all roles. When it comes to AI skills, it is more tricky, as we've said earlier. Really, the specific skill set needed can vary depending on the role. We've said before that roles with a strong technical focus, such as data scientists, IT professionals, they're going to require advanced skills. They're going to really need their data analytics, the cybersecurity, the mitigating the AI biases. But other more general roles, for example, management, even L&D, they benefit more from a much more understanding of the ethical use of AI, digital literacy, human AI collaboration. I think those are going to be important for all roles within our organizations to ensure that AI-driven decisions are fair and they're inclusive too.
So the bottom line is that the skills needed in the workplace are rapidly changing due to the rise of AI and technology. Now, as these tools take over routine tasks and introduce new capabilities, there is a shift towards developing new skills to adapt to and leverage these advancements. This transformation requires a focus on emerging competencies that align with the evolving technological landscape. So, Kate, what advice do you have on integrating training on AI skills into existing programs?
You know, it can be quite tricky because our organizations have been delivering programs for years. We've done things in a certain way. We're quite happy often with the status quo, and it can be difficult to have to integrate now another set of skills into our existing training programs. So I think that, as we were saying earlier about keeping up with the pace of change, I think we need to really pace ourselves, actually. And there's 4 steps that L&D teams can follow to integrate these emerging skills into their programs. It's a bit like a 4-step process, really. So first of all, it's about integrating these new skills into our skills frameworks. So really conducting a thorough role analysis, industry benchmarking, also consulting with functional leaders in your organization is going to be important so that you can really draft these precise skill specifications for different roles. Going to be important to differentiate, as we've mentioned. Does it need to be a large specialized requirement for AI competencies, or is it going to be much smaller? It's important to remember to set proficiency levels. Is it going to be advanced, or is it perhaps a more foundational proficiency that that role needs? And ensure continuous framework updates. As we've said a few times, it is changing so quickly. We need to go back and we need to look at our frameworks and adapt them in an agile way. So they're not fixed in stone. They're kind of living documents, if you like. So once we've updated our skills frameworks, then we need to do some skills gap analysis, and then, of course, implementing programs to close those skills gaps. And just as I mentioned, it's got to be agile when you're adapting your skills frameworks. The same thing has to happen with skills gap analysis. So we need to regularly assess our skills gaps. You can use AI tools to monitor these trends and performance, and many organizations are starting to do that. You can also use predictive analytics. That can help you forecast future skills needs based on current trends. It also uses industry developments and organizational changes too. So once you've really analyzed these skills gaps, then we would recommend micro-learning content. It's very flexible. You can use AI-driven content creation tools to help you with that, or you can purchase a solution off the shelf, or you can do a bit of both of those. And it seems that L&D professionals at the moment are doing quite a bit of the design and content creation themselves using generative AI. It'll be important to collaborate with cross-functional teams to ensure that the skills development really aligns with their goals. So once you've integrated the AI skills into the frameworks, done your analysis, and then done some content development, it's really about rolling out that learning. And as we said earlier, if you want to stay up to date, it's got to be practical, it's got to be accessible, it's got to be easy to use in the flow of work. And I know some organizations are using AI tools to develop these personalized learning paths. They dynamically adjust the content based on the user feedback and based on their progress as well. Another thing that you can do is integrate learning in the flow of work. With real world projects, they really need the use of AI and tech skills. It upskills teams quickly. It helps them to understand the complexities of the tools. And then you can also set up a learning community or a forum where your employees can connect, they can collaborate, they can ask each other questions, help each other out, a bit like we mentioned this forum here today. And that will help them get a deeper understanding and application of new skills. I think the important thing which we sometimes forget as we get excited about needs analysis, development, rolling out programs, sometimes we forget to communicate all of these changes. And effective communication is absolutely crucial in any kind of change management. So involve your employees in planning and developing the programs. Ask them what their needs are, ask them what their concerns are, and make sure you really do address these. You can use AI tools to gather and definitely to analyze the feedback and then communicate the action with them. It's a good idea to create a resource hub so they can easily access it if they've got any questions. And we did mention chatbots earlier, so that's something that could be used for support as well. I think it's also really important to involve people's managers and train them on how to integrate these skills into their team's development. So we've got 4 steps there. The first one is about integrating AI skills into your frameworks. Secondly, adopting an agile approach to skills gap analysis and content development. Thirdly, make the learning practical, accessible, and in the flow of work. And tying all of that together, support the change management with effective communication.
That's again great advice, Kate. What's interesting for me here is that these are not these 4 steps that you suggested are strategies that are familiar to L&D teams. These are steps that we at the British Council have always suggested and advised people to take up every time there's a change and new skills have to be developed. So there's no need, for people to be worried or concerned about what we can do to change alongside AI in this new age. We already have the skills. It is about using the same strategies, but in a new way, and building the new skills related to AI into these frameworks, and tweaking what we do, for example, the needs analysis to include all of that, and staying up with that pace of change, and especially communication, I think, is key, as you said, because a lot can get lost when we are making those changes. And communication really helps ensure that there is smooth change. So the third challenge I remember you mentioned was about the ethical use of AI, which is crucial for ensuring that these tools, all of these AI tools, are applied in ways that respect privacy, avoids bias, promotes fairness. So by adhering to ethical principles, organizations can prevent the misuse of AI, protect individual rights, and build trust among users instead of losing trust. So prioritizing ethics in technology helps create a responsible and transparent environment that supports positive outcomes and equitable opportunities. So what advice, Kate, do you have for our audience on ensuring AI solutions are used ethically?
I think the first thing is to try not to get too stressed about it. I think that we can get overwhelmed by all of this. I'm really worried about how AI is going to be used within our team, within our department, within our organization as well. And the first step is to really have clear guidelines. It sounds really obvious, but how many organizations actually have policies, processes, clear guidelines on the ethical use of AI and tech that are actually rolled out as of today? Surprisingly, in our survey, it's less than you would actually think. So these guidelines need to be created, even if it's just for your L&D team. And in them, we need to make sure that we address issues such as avoiding biases. And if we do find some kind of bias in our learning materials, for example, how are we going to mitigate that? What are we going to do about it? How are we going to ensure that our assessments are fair and that the decisions we make are transparent? How are we going to safeguard learner privacy? And how are we going to maintain that human oversight if we're integrating AI tools into our learning and assessments? So within these guidelines, we need some really specific processes or protocols, how to handle these ethical dilemmas so that our L&D teams, when they come across them, they don't feel lost. They can go back to the guidelines and they know what to do. So that's really the first key and crucial step. But creating the guidelines, as we know, it's like creating course materials. It's not enough just to create them. You really need to support people to use these guidelines. So they need training, they need resources on how to use the guidelines. So important to upskill your L&D team, also the learners, on best practices for ethical AI use. How can they recognize or address a bias? And how can they protect learner data? So you might want to run some workshops or produce some resources, information materials, or give access to ethics experts to reinforce these principles. It's also really important that you have some oversight of how AI is being used within your department and your organization. So implementing some really robust mechanisms to oversee it is going to be really important. I know many organizations have set up ethics committees, or perhaps they've designated people as ethics officers, and these people review the AI tools and the applications. They review them quite regularly. They audit, evaluate the impact of AI tools on the learners, and then they're able to make some recommendations about how to address any ethical concerns that are coming up. I think it's really important to be clear about how those will be reported, and then also how will they be resolved, and so that that's transparent and everybody knows about it. It's also really important to encourage a culture of ethical responsibility within your team and within your organization. So building that shared understanding of why it's important, to make sure that everybody feels accountable, feels responsible, and they really do uphold these standards. It's important to have discussions within your team about the ethical implications of using AI for learning. And if people are concerned about it, encourage them to raise it. Don't discourage them from speaking up. And then lastly, really important to do this on an ongoing basis. Really evaluate the long-term impact of AI tools. It's easy to say, today we're worried about this particular thing. We fix this now, but what about the 3 months, 12 months, 3 years? It's really important that we continue to evaluate them to make sure that they're used fairly, transparently, and without bias too. We need to really monitor how AI is affecting learner equity and privacy, and if we need to, make some adjustments to uphold ethical standards, address the issues that arise, and then we can make sure that AI and tech really contribute positively to learning in our organizations. So there was quite a bit of advice there, but to summarize, start off by creating these clear guidelines. give people training and resources, make sure you've got oversight in place, encourage a culture of ethical responsibility, and don't forget to evaluate the long-term impact of tools.
That's very reassuring, Kate. I think there is in some of us a real fear of what can go wrong if we use AI. There's a fear that it could go beyond our control. But this advice is very reassuring. I can see that there are lots of comments in the chat box. So before we get to all of that, could you share one final piece of advice for all of us that summarizes all of this?
Interesting, because there's been so much advice that we've shared this evening, and it's very tricky to just to pick one thing out of those. But I think something you said earlier, Shalini, is really important. It's about actually, as L&D professionals, we have the skills and we have the tools to do this, and that we shouldn't be afraid of it, that we should break it down, take it step by step, take a strategic approach rather than panicking and thinking, oh, it's all going too fast. I've got to learn everything. I can't do it. I've got to implement it. I don't have the budget. What to do? And it's really easy to get carried away with all of that panic and to not navigate some of those emotions that we are feeling in relation to AI and tech in learning and assessment. So I would say keep calm and carry it on, because people have been doing a great job, and focus on that. I'm interested actually in hearing from you, Shalini, your one thing that you can remember from all those things that I've said today.
I think it's pretty much the same thing. The fact that change is constant, as we know. And AI, if we look at it as just one amongst all of the things that is happening and is changing, we don't have to be worried about it. And we break it down just like any other problem. We can solve it. There are always solutions. And I think it's something that somebody mentioned in chat as well. It's about communication. A lot of what you said today is about keeping in touch with our colleagues, keeping in touch with what the others need as well, with our organizational needs, and keeping communication lines clear. I think that's what will help us work together and face any challenge. And leverage, actually, the strengths of AI.
That's a really nice positive note to end on. And I'd be really interested in inviting our audience today to pop a note in the chat about what's your biggest takeaway from all the things that Shalini and I have spoken about this evening. What's the one thing you're going to remember, the one piece of advice you are going to take away from today's chat?
Yes, thank you very much, Kate and Shalini. It was a very interactive and very amazing session. So we have some questions over the chat. I'll just take down the questions for you. So first question is from Miss Anjali. So can you give some examples of AI used for gamification for more immersive learning experience?
Well, unfortunately, we're not able to name specific platforms or advertise, but there are many things out there. Just a very quick Google will let you see the kind of platforms that are used for gamification, even in a small way. And a lot of organizations that we're working with right now, they're not investing in these very expensive solutions. They're just using some interactive chats to have that immersive experience and to get some immediate feedback from the AI. Maybe, Anjali, you use gamification a lot. I'm not sure if you're allowed to mention which software that you use.
Yes, hope this answers the question. So next question is from Debo Surti. Can AI enhance the shelf life of the training programs?
That's an interesting question because it's a kind of yes/no question, isn't it? And I'm going to give an in-between answer, which is it depends. It depends what you're going to do with it. It depends what the purpose is for using AI and the outcome that you're looking to achieve. I think that our enhancing shelf life could be that you want to maintain learner engagement, for example, if that's one of your purposes. Perhaps some learners are becoming disengaged with some programs being very similar to what they used to be. And AI can offer us more personalization, which we mentioned before, and more interaction, which then can increase your learner engagement and therefore increase your shelf life. That's just one example.
I was wondering whether the person also meant about the retention of learning beyond the session. I'm guessing all of the things that you mentioned, Kate, regarding engagement will help, and that personalization especially will help with the retention of learning beyond that particular program.
Mm-hmm. Yes. So next question is, can AI create tools of assessment on learning needs analysis?
The short answer to that is yes. All you have to do is a quick Google. There's lots of programs available that do that, and you feed it your data, and it can pop out with things. I was seeing one from one of our partners just yesterday. They were showing that to me. There's lots of tools on the market. Some of them are quite expensive, some of them are less expensive. So a quick Google will reveal tools that can do exactly that.
Yes, certainly. So next question is from Ms. Harsha. What else apart from content development and evaluating ROI of learning programs can AI be leveraged in L&D?
You know, it's a good question. We are about to publish an ebook. This is actually a little secret, which I haven't shared yet, but at the end of September, we are going to be publishing an ebook on AI and tech in learning and assessment. And we have a whole checklist. There's 30 things on that checklist that you can use AI to do. And those things you mentioned are definitely on that checklist. Some of the other things are like it can be used to do coaching. There's actually a program which is an AI-enabled coach, which can interact with the coachee and help them to support their skills. There's AI-enabled mentoring as well. Another program which you can roll out there. These are really valuable tools because they give you that one-to-one personal experience without actually having a trainer or another human behind it. So do look out for our ebook coming later this month, and there'll be a whole load more of tools in that ebook too.
Yes, thank you for answering
the link. Sorry,
yes,
Anjali.
I was about to ask this question. Yes, please do share us link of your book as well, so we can share with our audience.
Yes, I've just put a link in chat that leads to our blog. This is where we'll publish all of our articles and ebooks, etc.
Okay, great. Yes. So next question is from Siyun. That is, could you provide more details on how to perform a skill gap analysis?
This could take a long time, actually. It really could. But, you know, traditionally, what we've done is created these skills frameworks, which I was speaking about earlier, which are the competencies that are really important for the different job scopes or the job roles. And then based on those specific competencies, then you can create or you can buy assessments that are able to assess your employees on those competencies that you've identified. And sometimes it could be a knowledge-based assessment, or sometimes it's a skills-based assessment too. And often then you can get, if you're using technology, you can get data, you can get answers very quickly on how they score on some of those competencies. And then based on that, you can use them as a basis to create the learning goals for your programs. Shalini has a lot of experience in creating competencies in her role at the British Council. I don't know if you wanted to add anything there, Shalini.
I think it might take a long time, Kate, but I agree with you. It is about step-by-step analysis there. I also popped a link in about soft skills needs analysis that was published a while ago on our blog that might help. And if you look up the blog, we do have other articles on competencies as well, competency frameworks especially. Anjali, do you have another question for us?
Yes, we have some more questions. So the question is from Mr. Harshil, requesting your insights on AI application in drone industry, that is agriculture and defense sector.
This is quite niche. And something we are much more into sort of general use of AI in learning and development. And as we were saying earlier, I think that there are two types of roles in any industry, in fact. And one is much more the generalist role, which is the skills we mentioned already, like a human AI collaboration, data literacy, and interpretation and analysis, for example. But I'm guessing, I'm not very familiar with the drone industry, but I'm guessing that the skills needed are much deeper, advanced skills where you'd have to learn to program it, to really understand its biases, to mitigate those biases, to be very aware of cybersecurity and privacy and how to ensure all of that in quite a technical role.
Mm-hmm. Okay, hope this answers the question for Harshil. So we have a few more questions like on our socials. So one question is from Miss Mansi. When we say organizations are not ready to adapt to AI, only 2% as per the survey you mentioned have fully adapted to AI. So what do you suggest that as the head of L&D department, we can do to make people partner with AI and not rather get scared or overwhelmed of it?
Yes, it's right. Sorry. Yes, it was muted then, wasn't it? Yes, according to our poll, only 2% have fully implemented it, but a whole lot of other organizations are either interested in it or they're starting to look at implementing it. There is generally quite an excitement around AI, but it can be quite sort of random or informal. And I think if we really want to reassure our teams, we need to take a much more strategic approach, a much more step-by-step approach. And some of the things that I mentioned earlier, like having a clear purpose about what you want to use it for, identifying what sort of tools that you might need, communicating and collaborating with some of these teams that are going to be using it to ask them, what do you want to use it for? What are your concerns? Tell us about it. And that's how you can build the trust of people, by listening to them and by responding to some of those concerns. And then by laying it all out in a very planned, strategic way, having the guidelines which we spoke about earlier, making sure that you review periodically and go back and talk to people and show that you're taking action based on that. I'm not sure, Shalini, if you wanted to add anything, because you're very experienced in helping people to collaborate and to develop trust.
I think it is about understanding what they need and what prevents them from adopting would be suggesting them to do? Because just like every new thing that comes up, there are barriers, and the barriers are often based on our expectations. So it is about understanding and managing those expectations that people have. There's a very nice comment from France in the comments chat box about how AI is only as powerful as the person guiding it. It's a long comment, so I won't read the whole thing, but just the last line about how it's a partnership where both sides need each other to create something meaningful. That's a very beautiful thought. So I thought I'd share that with everyone in case you didn't get a chance to read it.
Certainly. So, yes, we have one question from Magarkar. So, requesting your insight in AI in supply chain and management and warehouse inventory management. So, yes, Mr. Magarkar, I guess we have a webinar that is coming up on generative AI in supply chain in the month of October. So, please stay connected with us to explore on this topic. So, we'll just take one quick question, Kate. Last question. That is, I'm currently building a mentorship program within my organization. Any suggestions on how AI can be used to develop the program?
Oh, interesting. I think you've got to really know what is the purpose for using AI. What do you want the outcome to be? What do you want to get out of it? Is it that you want to integrate AI into the mentoring? Do you want AI to mentor people in your organization? Perhaps you're not ready for that just yet. Do you want AI to help you develop some materials or some resources that the mentors can use? I think there's plenty of free AI tools out there that can help you to develop these resources, even a kind of little program to put together for mentoring. Do you want AI to create a community for the people that are being mentored? And so that it can push insights to them based on the different areas that they're being mentored on. So really the first thing that you need to be clear on is, what do you want the outcome to be? How do you want to use the AI? And then you can select the tool that really meets that purpose.
Great. So, thank you very much, Kate and Shalini, for answering those questions. And thank you for amazing session. It was very interactive and informative and based on all the generative AI trends. Yes, so before we move forward with the gamification session, Kate, can you just add a last statement or closing statement to this webinar?
I think I'm going to repeat what I said earlier. I think that as learning and development professionals, you have the skills and the knowledge to do this. I think that change takes time to get used to it. So keep calm and carry on.
Great, great. Okay, so everyone, please stay connected with us. We will soon start the gamification session. So I would like to welcome my colleague, Ms. Setulu, to take this forward.
Yep, thank you, Anjali, and thank you so much, Kate and Shalini. It was amazing having you here, and such an insightful presentation that was. We had a great discussion, and what a beautiful engagement we had with all the participants, right? So thank you so much for having us. Yeah, thank you. So you can stay here. We can play the game together. If you want, we can play together here. I'm just sharing my screen to start the gamification session. Allow me 1 second. Do you both have the time?
Yes, it's fine. It is quite late at night, but I think that gamification is engaging. So yeah.
Yes.
You can try it. Yeah. Yes. So I did see one question asking about the gamification. So we are going to do that right now. If you're still here, do try it. Let me send you the link and the session ID that you can use to log into this. Most of you may already have tried this before, but those of you who are new here right now, this is this is what we call our gamification platform from GSDC. And how you will be logging into this is you have to go to the link that I have provided on the chat box. Just click there and click on sign in. Then if you already have an account, you can just go ahead and log in with your credentials. If you do not have it, then you can click on sign up, and then you can enter your details. For the session ID, our session ID today is 1766, so utilize that and then sign up. If in case you already have an account but you have forgotten your credentials, then just enter some dummy email. Of course, make sure that your name and last name is correct. And then for the email, you can just enter a dummy email and enter the session ID that is 1766, and you will enter the game after that. So I'll be waiting here for a few minutes. We'll give it like 2 minutes until we all join. And yeah. We have started the registration as well. Let me check my dashboard here so that I can see who are logging into that game. Yeah, I see some few players here. Do join in soon. We have 2 minutes to this. If you are facing any issue, then just let us know in the chat box. We can help you through. So while you are signing up, let me explain the game that we'll be playing for today. So everybody knows about tic-tac-toe, right? So what the game that we'll be playing today is called tic-tac-toe. However, it's not the usual tic-tac-toe kind of game. It will be question-based tic-tac-toe, where you'll be winning points according to the questions that you answer. Once you have signed up or signed in, you will see this game tic-tac-toe, and you have to click on play. Then you will enter the lobby. You can play this with your mobile phone as well. If you are not seeing this game tic-tac-toe, then you have to click on your profile here on the top right and click on change session and enter the session ID for today, that is 1766. If you are unable to sign in, you can try the sign up. So you have the sign up option here as well. You can see here step number 2, sign up. So you can just enter your details. You can use a dummy email as well. No worries about that. If you win, then we will definitely connect with you. You can also we'll send you our details so that you can connect with us. And enter the session ID 1766. So make sure that you have the game tic-tac-toe, and you click on play, then you will enter the lobby. Let me share my lobby here so that we can see whoever has entered. You can check the Zoom screen now to see if you have entered the game. If you are facing any issue, just let me know. We haven't started the game yet, so just waiting for some more people to join in. Try clicking multiple times on tic-tac-toe page. Okay. Hi Mansi, if you can let me know exactly what issue you are getting, like are you getting any pop-up there? If you are unable to sign in, just click on sign up, and then you can go ahead and sign up with a dummy email. So you can see the sign up option is there. You can check my screen here. Sign up option is there, so you can just click on sign up and sign up with a dummy email. Okay. Yeah, Mansi, if you can share on chat what issue is you are getting, then I can help you with that. I'll give it another 1 minute to start this game. Okay, if you can help me with what error you are receiving, then I can help you with what issue you are facing there. Or if you want, you can try changing the session. Just go to the profile and then change the session and enter the session ID that is 1766. We'll have 2 minutes to this game. It's a very easy game, but yeah, of course, you have to utilize your learnings here. It will be according to the session that we had today. And yeah, and then you get a chance to input your learnings there. Yeah, Mansi, I'm so sorry if you're not able to play there. We have to start the game now. But yeah, we'll reach out to you again to see what the issue was here, and then you can try again on our next session as well. We have this gamification for all our sessions. So I will be beginning the game now. Let me do the countdown. If you are just signing in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. So we have started the quiz, and I've started my timer for 2 minutes. You can go ahead quickly and answer the questions. You can choose any board. There will be cross and X's and O's once you click on it. And once you get the questions, you can select your answer. You get only one chance, so make sure that you select it properly. The winner of this quiz will receive a $400 worth voucher for L&D, and the top 3 will be listed on the GSDC Wall of Fame. The winners will be selected according to the highest points and also the duration that they complete this game. So according to that, we'll announce the winner of the game. Also make sure that you do not refresh your browser, as that will restart your game for you. We have 1 minute left, so do hurry up. If you are still playing, do hurry up. Also a very exciting announcement to happen after this, so do stay with us to know about what announcement we have. Anjali did give a little sneak peek on that earlier, but we have a very special guest coming up for our next event, and Anjali will be announcing that right after this game. So do stay with us. If you are still here and not playing the game as well, please do stay with us to learn about this exciting announcement that we have. Okay, we have around 20 seconds left. I will do the countdown at 10. Do hurry up here. I can see that Dilip Kumar is on the top right now and still playing. So yeah, good luck everyone. We have 10 seconds left now. Let me do the countdown in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And that's the end of the game. Please check your screen for the winner here. All right. So we have the winner, Dilip Kumar, with 90 points, who finished the game at 1 minute 42 seconds. We also have Gian at 90 points. However, he was still playing, so the winner position goes to Dilip Kumar, and also Harsha at third position with 80 points. So congratulations to all of you. Would any one of you like to share a little? Share a little feedback about how the game was. Dilip Kumar, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. I think this is the second time I'm winning a game, so
That's great.
it's been really fun to participate in such games and being a part of these things. And today's session was really insightful. So thank you so much for the speakers for giving us such insights. And being an L&D professional, I believe that I was able to grab a lot of things today. So thank you so much, everyone, for this.
Amazing. Thank you so much for participating as well. And thank you to all the 3 players here for participating, and everyone for participating on this game. We appreciate it. And if you didn't get a chance to participate on it, we have a hackathon coming up. So you can be sure that there will be a lot of prizes to win during this hackathon. So yeah, I will hand over to my colleague Anjali here to explain more about this.
Yes, thank you very much, Setulu, for this amazing fun learning gamification. Yes, as you created the excitement for everyone regarding our special event. So thank you everyone for being with us still here. And finally, I'm very happy to announce you our special event, which is GSDC's Gamification Carnival for L&D professionals, which will be held on 8th and 9th of October with our special guest, guest speaker, that is Yukai Cho, world-renowned gamification expert, and he is creator of Octa Analysis Framework and has revolutionized user experiences over 1 billion people. And also he is named the #1 gamification guru globally, and he has shared his expertise with industry giants like Google, Tesla, Harvard, and making him the ultimate guide for your gamification journey. So very excited for this event, everyone are. And GSTC is also very proud to be having the gamification guru on our platform for the very first time ever on the GSTC hackathon. So this will be basically, you can say, a 2-day event. And on the day one, that is on 8th of October, we will connect with the gamification guru itself to learn the mastery from him directly. And it will be a journey from his theoretical expertise to practical industry knowledge. And on the day two, we will be arranging a live hackathon with our expert team, where you all will be participating there, and you'll be receiving exciting gift vouchers and some surprise gifts as well. So stay connected with us for this 2-day event, hackathon event. And this hackathon will be evaluated by AI. And registrations details will be sent to your emails. And the first 50 registrations will be complimentary. So everyone, please keep a lookout on your email regarding the same. And follow us on our LinkedIn groups. Also, please do give your feedback and key takeaways on our Trustpilot. And if you want to learn more about our events, please do reach out to us. And thank you very much, everyone. Stay connected with us with upcoming sessions on our socials. Thank you.